Yo, what's up guys, hope you guys are doing good. So today we are gonna see, what if Naruto returns cold after the training trip, part 2. Hope you'll enjoy this video. So before we start, please subscribe to our channel and like this video. So let's get into the video. Cave in an unknown location, all in attendance. Report. The man with a face split into black and white halves and covered in a Venus flytrap speaks. The one tail has returned to Suna. The 2 and 8 tails have been located in Kumo. The black half grates. The 4 and 6 tails are near Iwa, but not held in high regard. The 7 tails is, as yet unknown. The 5 tails is wandering, as a Kiri missing nin. The white half seems calm in its report. The man with purple eyes in a ripple pattern speaks. What of the 9 tails? The man with Sharingan eyes speaks calmly, but hiding sadness. It seems he has been banished from Konoha. He leaves it today. However, it seems he has become aware of his parentage and has taken a large portion of Konoha's economy with him as a result. He is joined by 3 Anbu and 4 Jounin. Purpose unknown. Destination unknown. Current strength unknown. Pain nods. Approach with caution. Capture only if the opportunity arises. Otherwise observe only. We still have 3 years before we are ready to begin extracting demons. Best to watch them and plan. Understood. As all the holograms flicker out, Itachi and Kisame stand in a cave. Kisame grins. So Konoha huh? Didn't they neuter your kid brother recently? Itachi nods. And seals his chakra. I am not surprised, though I did not think I hurt his mind so badly as to send him mad. A miscalculation on my part. You intend to go back? Itachi turns to his partner and narrows his eyes. And if I decided to leave Akatsuki and do just that? Kisame grins like the shark he is and shrugs. Leader assigned me as your partner. Honestly, 3 years waiting for a fight. I'd rather go with you and at least walk around as a free man for a while. We'll see. I haven't decided what to do just yet. Maybe I should try to contact Jiraiya. Next day at Wave. Damn kid, I thought you were kidding about getting here today. Sorry Kurenai-sensei. Well, I enjoy a joke as much as anybody. I hate to lie. I didn't think it would be a problem for all of you though. I did not take into account the fact you specialize in Genjutsu and so have lower stamina than most Jounin. Kurenai waves him off. It's something I need to work on anyway. Yugao smirks. Hey guys, check this out. Yugao points them to a memorial stone at the end of the bridge. Seems we're traveling with a real hero here. This bridge is named for the hero who brought hope back to the people of the Wave. Great Naruto Bridge. Huh. Didn't know they did that. I'm honored. The 3 Anbu sweat drops. All of them think the same. You don't look honored. Well, let's go. I'm sure Tazuna will be happy to see me. The team moves to cross the bridge. On the other side, Naruto raises an eyebrow to change from the last time they were here. Place has improved. Anko frowns. What was it like before? I never got the report. As they move through the town towards Tazuna's house, Naruto tells them of the mission to Wave. My first C rank. An escort and protection for Tazuna. A bridge builder. Soon after we left, we were targeted by C rank missing nins of Kiri. The demon brothers. At this point Tazuna was forced to tell us the truth. Wave was in the hold of Gato, who was strangling the life out of it. A C rank is all they could afford, so they lied. We continued anyway, even with the risk. Just before arriving we encountered Zabuza. He was hired to kill Tazuna. Kakashi fought him to a standstill until Zabuza caught him in his water prison. Sasuke and I were forced to intervene to rescue him. Anko frowns. 2 genin against Zabuza. Stupid, doesn't sound like you. Naruto shrugs. Zabuza thought so too, Anko. I had a clone transform into a demon mill shuriken and handed a real one to Sasuke, who threw them both. Zabuza caught the real one and dodged the clone, who broke the transformation and tossed a kunai at Zabuza, who was forced to let the prison go. Tiger nods. Impressive tactics. The other Anbu agree, knowing that this kind of thinking is not common in even Chunin. From there, Kakashi was winning the fight until a hunter nin put some senbon in Zabuza's neck and took him away in a near-death state. Kakashi was out for a week with chakra exhaustion and trained us in tree climbing. Kurenai growls. He didn't train you in that until then. It's the first thing I did with my team. Naruto nods. He only trained us in team maneuvers. And only to a minor degree, as Sasuke was a loner and didn't want to do teamwork. Sakura was a fangirl and I was still an idiot at that point, even if I was settling in my cold persona. Anyway, there was a fake working for Zabuza named Haku. A Yuki clan ninja from Kiri. After a heated argument I went to blow off steam in the forest and knocked myself out. Haku found me and woke me. Mouse nodded. Lucky he didn't kill you. Naruto shrugs. He didn't like to kill, though he later admitted to considering it as his duty. We became friends honestly. Like me, he knew pain and loneliness like few people do. When we met again on the bridge, I was forced to fight him. It was the first time I used Shinju's chakra. I beat him, but hesitated to kill him even though he begged me to do so, as he claimed himself a failure to his master and a broken tool. At this point we heard Kakashi's lightning blade, and Haku threw himself in front of it to save Zabuza. Gato betrayed them at that time, and Zabuza killed him for it, along with a lot of his thugs. They got lucky that Gato came when he did, and nobody died. Those two are the reason for my Nindo. I don't give up and never go back on my word. Hana smiles. Such an Uzumaki thing to say. Mom said Kushina was the reason for the family motto of family before clan, clan before village, village before duty. Naruto nods. I told Zabuza to go home and help free his people. As for the rest I don't know. I slept for a couple days after. That's something I said at some point must have inspired somebody to stand up in the village or something. Arriving at the house, Naruto steps forward to knock. Just a minute. A female voice calls out from within a moment before the door opens, and Naruto is swept up in a bone-crushing hug. Gak, hello Tsunami. Nice to see you too. Tsunami giggles and pouts. Oh, it's still so cold. Hey, who are your friends and where is your team? Naruto frowns. May we come in please? We have a story to tell and we would like some help from your father if we can. Of course. Come in and I will make some tea. Some hours later, ungrateful bastards. Naruto shrugs. It works well for me in the end. They got stung in the end though if it makes you feel better Tazuna. Inari pouts. How do you mean Naruto? Anko cackles and tells them of Naruto's parents and what Naruto did before leaving. Wait, you mean your father is the Yellow Flash? I thought you looked familiar. How stupid could they get though? There was no way they could have known. In the academy they always told us how the fourth was the most powerful Hokage, but I always thought the first was stronger even with the Hiraishin. I could never figure it out until after I got back from the wave and used my shadow clones to research him and a lot of other things. Took me months to find the financial records and then a couple more months to calculate exactly who owed what. Not bad for the dead last. Yugao smirks. Not bad at all. Then again you always were the most unpredictable person in the village. Dragon nods. In Anbu there is a saying. Never underestimate Uzumaki. Azuna smirks. I never met them myself as I was too young, but my father told me of them. Unpredictable and wild as the maelstrom. Said it was a sad day when Yuzu was wiped out. Best customers and friends he had. Tsunami frowns. You never told me that, father. I've never heard of Yuzu either. Naruto nods. I would be surprised if you did. Uzashigakure was the Uzumaki village. Wave actually lies within its borders. The island is just to the east of here and Kiri. Yuzu fell at the start of the Third Great Ninja War. The fall of Yuzu was actually the cause. Once it fell, Wave was contested land but never claimed. Kiri wanted to, but they would have had to invade the mainland and possibly go to war with Konoha. Then they lost the chance with the civil war that continues even today. Azuna nods. Anyway, enough of the heavy history. You said you needed my help. Naruto smirks. What would you say to rebuilding Yuzu? The man's eyes widened. Well, it would be the kind of project I have been looking for, but it would not be cheap or easy. Naruto waved him off. Price isn't a problem. Dad's fortune was substantial even without selling up most of his assets. No, if you can do it, the biggest issue will be interference and logistics. Interference I can deal with. Getting you and the workers to the island can also be done. It's materials I am concerned with. We would have to see the island to be sure. What do you mean by interference? And how would you solve it? Naruto nods. Once word gets out it's being rebuilt, I would not put it past certain people to spy or sabotage the project. As for a fix, I can hire ninjas I trust from Konoha to act as guards and helpers. Tsunami raises an eyebrow. You would trust them? Yugao smiles. Only the civilians and its council are not to be trusted, along with a few individuals. The clans are mostly fine. In fact, Naruto intends for many to move to Yuzu once the project is done. Naruto nods. Assuming they give me no reason to mistrust them. Konoha laws prevented many from helping me and the clans feel Konoha has lost their trust. I may also send some jobs out to Suna as well. They could no doubt use the business. Yugao tenses noticeably. Anko hugs her. You know it wasn't their fault. Suna was tricked. Kurenai nods. And is desperate too. Konoha was taking all their business and they were on the verge of losing what funding they had. Yugao relaxes. I know. I just have trouble forgiving them for Hate's death. Naruto tilts his head. If I remember right, Baki, who was the jounin for the Suna team, later delivered his sword to the Hokage, along with admitting to the murder and a formal apology. He went so far as to offer his life in recompense. Yugao nods. Yes, and him I can forgive for that act. Just having trouble with Suna as a whole. It's nothing I can't handle. Inari frowns. Why do you become ninja? Seems to me all it brings is pain and death. Naruto lowers his eyes. Like I said to you last time, Inari. Some of us have little choice in the way our lives go. In a clan you are expected to at least have some ninja training. As a Jinchuriki my fate was decided from birth. Others do it for many different reasons. Money, thrill, glory, bloodlust or just stupidity. Naruto sheds a tear. Even though I am free of Konoha I still have no choice. Anko hugs Naruto and Tsunami frowns. Why? There is a group of S-rank criminals called Akatsuki after me for what I contain. Or rather what they think I contain. If I don't become stronger then I will be captured, and if that happens, they will take it. If that happens, I die. So, I must train to protect myself and those I care for. I must be a ninja. Azuna grins. How does Yuzu fit into this? Over the next 5 years I will be going on a journey. It has 3 purposes. To get strong enough to defend myself and lead a village. To find the scattered remnants of my clan. And to finish off all possible threats to my future home and family. I have 3 years to get strong enough for them. Do more after to increase that to a ridiculous degree so that other villages hesitate to try anything. Then tomorrow we leave for Yuzu with a few people to see what we might need. Naruto nods. In the meantime, I should start getting to know my companions. We will be in the woods nearby if needed. Tsunami smiles. Of course. The party walks off into the woods to talk. Arriving in a clearing which is badly damaged and only now recovering. Hana is in awe. Is this what I think it is? Naruto looks back at her before returning his gaze to the healing devastation. Yeah. The results of a moment of rage masquerading as training. Of course, this was all me. I didn't use Shinju's chakra. Yugao nods. It just makes it all the more impressive. We haven't had much chance yet to train or talk about it yet. I figured out some of your likely training schemes, but some of you I have no idea. What are you going to teach me? Kurenai smiles. As I said. For me it's and chakra control. You may or may not ever be able to use it, but you can still break it. Yugao nods. With Hate's death I am Konoha's foremost Kenjutsu master. Hana grins. Tsunade sent me for my medical knowledge. I will also help with Taijutsu if you need it. Anko smirks. Torture, interrogation, and poisons. Tiger nods. Elemental manipulation. Brayton, Futen, and Kaiten. Mouse giggles. Tactics and strategy. I also have some sealing knowledge. Dragon tilts his head. I'm a special case. I will teach you Doten, Suiton, and Wood style. Naruto raises an eyebrow. You can use Wood style. Dragon nods. Nowhere near as well as the first, and we suspect you, but yes. When I was a genin, Orochimaru used me in his experiments, and I gained the first Hokage's cells and a weak affinity for the Wood style. Naruto nods. I could learn most of this from Shinju, but he says it would be a little faster and much healthier to learn it from my own kind. Since you have all followed me this far and trusted me, I suppose I should tell you. Naruto looks them in the eyes. There is another reason I must get stronger. What I told the others about Shinju was true, but I left out one vital detail. Regardless of if he breaks out or not, he will die sometime in the next 5 years. True, he could reconstitute eventually when his body is released from the moon, but he has grown tired. He has named me his successor. Once my body and mind are ready, he is going to sacrifice the remainder of his power to change me. In short, I will become the new Shinju. My mind, my body, but I will be a god in truth. But if I fail to raise my power in that time the influx of power may kill me. Naruto looks around at the shocked faces. Anko frowns. How would you know when you are ready? Naruto nods. I am surprised you are all taking this as well as you are. To answer. The Wood style was the first gift. As I get stronger, I will gain more and more. The final before it happens will be the awakening of the Shinjus. The Rin Sharingan. After we begin the rebuilding of Yuzu I intend to travel the nation searching out conflicts to get stronger. Friends to teach me. Family to bring home. I will begin in Kiri. Mouse tilts her head. There is a lot going on in Kiri. If conflict is what you want it's best to start there true. But as strong as you are, I don't know if you are strong enough for a war. Naruto shakes his head. I'm not. Not yet. But almost. It will take weeks and possibly months to set everything up in Yuzu though, and I have enough materials to keep me going in my training in that time to quickly grow to that point. Dragon. You said you have Wood style. Shinju says there is a place which can build us a house for the night. Could you please show me the hand signs? The signs are snake rat ox ram snake. The jutsu is a 4-pillar house. Naruto goes through the hand signs and slams his hands on the ground. Wood style. 4-pillar house. The large 2-story house grows out of the ground in front of the group, causing them all to widen their eyes. Anko smirks. Ibiki owes me 50 ryo. Everybody looks at Anko who scratches her cheek sheepishly. Ibiki, and I made a bet on if the reports were true or just the council being crazy. Naruto nods before stepping inside. In a way you are both right. The council is crazy after all. Inside everybody relaxes, but Dragon seems a little down. Tiger confronts him. What's up? Took me years to get this down, and he does it for the first time after just showing him the hand signs. Better than I could too. Guess I'm just feeling a little useless. Naruto calls out to him. Nobody is useless. The first had perfect mastery on wood because of his and many years training. He also used Sage Mode to enhance it. My power to learn it so easily comes because Shinju is the source of chakra and everything that comes with it. He also helps me with it because I have yet to master either Suiton or Doton affinities. There will undoubtedly be things I struggle to learn and I need everybody to help me with that. Naruto heads upstairs to a room. Mao smiles behind her mask. Looks like leadership will come naturally to him too. He might not show it much, but he clearly cares and he knows how to motivate. Tiger nods. The third once told me he has a special power to attract people to his side as long as they give him a chance. Even his enemies. I suspect if they had not died then Zabuza and Haku would have been his friends. Dragon nods. Best get some rest. With Tazuna and anybody he brings it will take us 2 days to reach Yuzu at civilian speed. Next morning, at dawn the house shook, waking everybody inside. Rushing outside to the nearby clearing they all sweat drop. Naruto is training. Hana rubs her eyes. Naruto, don't you ever sleep? About 4 hours a day. Any more and I wake up from the nightmares. He shrugs. It's more than I need anyway. Sorry if I woke you. Tiger chuckles. Most Anbu don't sleep a full 8 hours anyway. Comes with the job. Enko sniggers. And why almost nobody stays in Anbu more than a couple years. Kurenai looks around bleary-eyed. What were you doing? I can't do much more with my wind element until we encounter a waterfall, so I was working on a few jutsu. I tried doing some other stuff before now, so I wouldn't wake you all too early though. Mostly kinjutsu and physical conditioning. Yugao smiles. Let's get some breakfast before we head out. On the way we'll see how you are coming with that. Naruto nods and scratches his head. I'm not great with fire. I picked up some wood and got some fish earlier if somebody can light a fire. 30 minutes later the team headed to Tazuna's house. Anko was hanging onto Naruto's back. Who knew you were such a good cook? You're gonna make a woman really happy one day, kid. I haven't touched ramen in 3 years. I had to learn to hunt, gather, and cook just to not go back to eating from the trash. Kurenai and Hana look between Yugao and Naruto for an explanation. Yugao scratches her arm and looks aside sadly. The trash was before my time watching him and the Ichiraku incident was after I was reassigned. I was never made aware of it. I was 4 when the orphanage kicked me out. Claimed if a demon could walk and talk then I could live on my own without help. I was 6 when the Ichirakus found me digging in their garbage and gave me my first taste of ramen and treated me as family. AM even bathed me. Not long after, the Hokage found out and gave me my apartment. It was crappy and full of holes, but it was cheap and the landlady had no problem with me. Actually, the fact it was in the red light district helped a lot. When kids were learning sex ed in the academy I was refused. The ladies in the red light district taught me instead. When the academy refused to teach maths the thugs and drug dealers taught me. When the villagers came to haunt me and kill me on my birthday the homeless people hid me. Funny how the dregs of society, as they see it, are more kind to a small boy than a village of upstanding people. Kurenai shakes her head. I'm not sure I approve but in this life, we take what we can get to survive. Prostitutes, thugs, drug dealers. A child that age shouldn't even know of the concept. Naruto nods. They would agree with you. Of course, the prostitutes were either doing what they enjoy or didn't have a choice, as it's all they had. The drug dealers were more pharmacists who couldn't deal with all the red tape just to help the people in their charge. The thugs were mostly ex-shinobi fallen on hard times. Contrary to what people believe there is very little crime in the red light district. Less than most of the village in fact. It's more accurate to call it a slum. Hana frowns. We are always told to stay away from that part of town or risk being raped or mugged. Naruto shrugs. It happens. Not as often as you think, but we do get the occasional desperate fool or crazy. Mostly it's the council though spreading rumors to keep people looking too closely as they siphon off the money that is supposed to be used to fix up that part of town. Dragon growls. It was never proven, but I wouldn't put it past them. Mouse tilts her head. And the Ichiraku incident. Naruto is silent long enough that the group thinks he won't answer. On my 12th birthday, an old man named Tucci said he was making a special bowl of ramen for me. I was excited as you would think, but it was drugged. The villagers had caught on. I ate there almost exclusively and wanted their fox hunt. They paid Tucci to drug me on the promise they would only scare me and no harm would be done. AM was not aware. The villagers lied though. When I woke, I was chained to a table and they spent the whole night torturing me. Paint and burns, acid, cutting into me. Whatever caused me the most pain while keeping me conscious. I'm lucky in a way. Shinju says any above 3 tails could have kept me alive, above 5 could have kept me whole, but only he could have kept me recognizable, and even he had trouble erasing the scars and keeping me sane. Of course, I didn't know him then, as contact was not yet reached. He also didn't entirely succeed with the scars, as until Orochimaru attacked Kyuubi's mind was still dominant. Now you know why I don't eat ramen anymore. Anko hugged Naruto even tighter as they walked. Tazuna's Naruto arrives. Tazuna answered the door followed by another man. Tall and thin, the man looked jumpy. Ah, Naruto, you're up earlier than I expected. This is Ping. He will be with us to make calculations on what we might need, timetables, and well, pretty much anything numbers he can figure it out. Naruto nods. We'll head out soon as you are ready. Let's go then. Far be it from me to keep you from seeing your ancestral home. 2 days later, the journey was long, but uneventful. As they stood on the shores of Yuzu, Tazuna was in awe. Never seen anybody make a bridge out of thin air before. Just when I thought I had a handle on just what you ninja could do. Naruto looks at him before turning back. Only 2 people currently can perform such, and it might kill the other one. Dragon nods. It would. That was roughly double my limit. Naruto creates 300 clones. Ping jumps again, causing Anko to snigger. See what you can find. Jutsu, weapons, seals, history, anything. 100 of you are on burial duty. Any foreign remains get piled near the coast, and Uzumaki remains get graves. The clones salute before running off. Naruto turns back to the group. If you don't mind, I need some time alone. I am going to walk around a bit and meet you near the village center later. Tazuna puts a hand on Naruto's shoulder. Take your time, kid. Naruto nods and walks off silently. 6 hours later, as he is standing before an old mural, a clone approaches Naruto with 5 scrolls packed with Yuzu artifacts. So little left. Disgusting. Are the burial clones almost done? They have piled all the Iwa and Kumo shinobi near the coast, as you said. 2 piles. 1 for each village. The graves are dug and the burials are taking place right now. Dragon helped with Doton. Shouldn't take much longer. Naruto nods. Put them in a storage scroll and send them to their villages, then go ahead and dispel. The clone poofs. You can come out now, Kabuto. And bring your little friend with you. Kabuto smirks and steps out from behind a boulder with a slim red-headed girl wearing glasses. Hello, Naruto. You look well. Naruto shrugs. As can be expected. How's Orochimaru taking Sasuke's loss? Kabuto frowns. He is pissed. More so that we can't seem to find out what happened. You wouldn't tell me, would you? Naruto looks at the girl and she flinches at the cold, emotionless face. Introduce us and I might consider it. The girl steps forward and pushes up her glasses. A nervous habit she picked up years ago. I am Karen Uzumaki and you shouldn't be here in my clan's village. Naruto smiles slightly. I take it Orochimaru told you that you were the last Uzumaki, Karen. She nods firmly. Based on what I know of the Uzumaki bloodlines and what I feel from you, I can guess you have the mind's eye of Kagura with the potential to unlock the adamantine sealing chains later. So, tell me. Why do you still follow Orochimaru if you can feel him lying to you? Karen flinches and flicks her gaze to Kabuto and back, refusing to answer. I see. Did they tell you my name? She nods. Naruto. Naruto shakes his head. Correct, but my last name. They said you didn't have one. You're an orphan. Naruto nods. Half true. I am an orphan, but I do have a last name. It's my mother's. I do not have the easily recognizable trait of the Uzumaki because of my father's genes, but surely you can guess where I am going with this, can't you? Look at my chakra and compare it to your own. I have 2, so be warned that one will not be recognized. Karen closes her eyes and holds a ram sign. She takes a moment to feel him out and gasps. Can't be. Uzumaki. Naruto smiles again. Hello, cousin. It's nice to meet you. Kabuto is frowning, thinking Karen might leave with Naruto. And Sasuke. Naruto's face becomes cold once more. I beat him and took him back to Konoha where he was neutered and permanently sealed. He will be of no use to Orochimaru. Kabuto scowls, knowing Orochimaru will go ballistic when he hears. Come, Karen. It's time to return to Lord Orochimaru. Karen shakes her head adamantly. No. I finally found a family. I won't go back to that monster. Karen rushes to stand behind Naruto, who moves in front of her. Kabuto smirks. You seem to think you have a choice. Naruto can't beat me. He's barely stronger than Sasuke, and I am equal to Kakashi. During the exams that statement would hold true, but much has changed. True, I might struggle, but I am more than capable of beating you now. Or did you forget what I did to you on that mission to retrieve Lady Tsunade? Kabuto rubs his gut and frowns. I haven't forgotten. So be it. Kabuto rushes Naruto with his chakra scalpels, expecting to overwhelm him with speed and cut him down. Naruto shocks him by grabbing him by the wrists, stopping his attack and kicking him back. The Buto looks down at his wrists. Ice. How? Naruto looks at Kabuto and frowns. Ha, second gift. Must be because of the little training I did in Suiton before leaving the leaf. The Buto looks at Naruto as if he's stupid. Hyoten is a Kiri bloodline. You shouldn't be able to wield it even if you had the required elemental affinities. So how do you have it? Naruto shakes his head. Your information is severely outdated if you think I am stupid enough to tell you anything. The Buto smirks. So not just stronger, but you got smarter too. Good to know. Tell you what. Tell me if Orochimaru has any Uzumaki and I will tell you how I have Hyoten. The Buto narrows his eyes at Naruto, weighing his options. He had one. Teiya. But if you took back Sasuke, then chances are she is dead. Naruto frowns. Uses a flute for foul mouth. Anger issues. Kabuto grins. I see you met her. Naruto nods and frowns. Yeah, she's dead. Fought Shikamaru and Chaoji. Shame, she seemed like a barrel of fun if you can put up with the cursing. Karen sheds a tear. She was a friend. Naruto creates a shadow clone who hugs Karen. And your Naruto nods. It doesn't contain the Kyuubi. It contains Shinju. All bloodlines come from him and slowly I am unlocking them. Kabuto's eyes widened. That's valuable information. Naruto nods. You must wonder why I told you even if I agreed to it. I was actually. 2 reasons. First, I always keep my word. Kabuto narrows his eyes again. And second. A wooden stake suddenly pierces Kabuto's heart from behind. Kabuto looks behind him shocked as he dies. I don't intend to let you leave here alive. As his team approaches, Anko is cackling. That's it for him, Gaki. Kurenai smiles wryly and shakes her head. How long have you wanted to use that one? Hana and Yugao giggle at Anko, who is pouting. Naruto smiles. It's okay, Anko. I enjoy a good pun or a bad one. Naruto packs Kabuto's corpse in a scroll to turn in later. Naruto summons Gamma Kichi. Hey bro, what's up? Hi Kichi. Did Jiraiya tell the toads what's going on? No. Something up? Naruto shakes his head in disappointment. Coward. I've been banished from Konoha. What? Oh, crap, Dad will crush Jiraiya then strike his name from the contract. Naruto shakes his head. I would hold off on that if I was him. I have 3 requests for you. Gamakichi nods firmly. Name it, bro. I need you to take the scroll to Tsunade for a bounty collection. It's Kabuto Yakushi. I also want her to send me the body of Teiya of the Sound for its ashes if it's been disposed of. And finally, I need to be reverse summoned to Mount Mayaboku in the morning to explain some developments with the Toad Chief and elders. You got it. Poofs away. What happened to Naruto? Naruto takes out the scroll containing the Namikaze mansion and unseals it. Let's talk inside, Kurenai-sensei. Introductions are in order. The group notices Karen holding tight to the clone and walks inside. 30 minutes later after introductions, explaining the team and what happened with Kabuto. Okay, so she's an Uzumaki and you sent back to Konoha for the body of another you just found out about so you can bury her here. Naruto nods to Kurenai. And you need to go to the home of the toads to explain what's happened tomorrow. Naruto nods to Tiger. Among other things, that's the gist of it. I won't be gone for long though, and I will be perfectly safe. Karen looks at Naruto nervously. What about me? Naruto smiled kindly at her. Well, that's up to you, Karen. I intend to have Yuzu rebuilt and to find as many Uzumaki as I can to bring home. Also, several clans from Konoha will eventually move here. Personally, I would like to get to know the first family I have ever met. Besides, tomorrow I will be here probably close to a month to get things started, but after that I leave for nearly 5 years. You can stay here and help rebuild, come with me and help me search out more family, or you can leave and do as you wish. It's up to you. Karen glumps Naruto much to the amusement of the group and Naruto gives her a gentle hug. I won't leave. I will help rebuild our home and you will have a place to return to. I promise. After all, you're not the only one who has never known their family. Naruto smiles and then frowns as he sees the scars in Karen's arms. Bite marks. I wondered why your reserves felt low for an Uzumaki. Your chakra pathways have been damaged. Karen tugs her sleeves down self-consciously. I also have the Uzumaki healing power. If somebody is injured, they can suck my blood and chakra to heal nearly anything. It always scars though. I know of it. I also know that in the event it manifested early in an Uzumaki, it was forbidden to use it until your chakra pathways fully manifest or it could cause damage. That's why your eyesight is so bad and why you don't have large reserves of chakra. Karen's eyes widened. I never knew that. Is there anything that can be done? I don't know for certain. Given enough time it may heal itself. Better though if when things get going, I ask Lady Tsunade to send either Sakura or Shizune here if she can't visit herself. Mouse nods. Given how you left, you could request it as a personal favor. Say it as a step towards establishing peace. No promises it will work, but I'm sure Tsunade would be happy to see you again. Naruto nods in thanks. I'll send a toad once things get started. That way whoever comes can come with the workforce. Thanks, Naruto. Karen drifts off to sleep on Naruto's shoulder. Naruto looks at Tazuna and Ping. How long will it take to assess Yuzu? Tazuna looks at Ping, who is running through calculations in his head, causing him to twitch a lot. He then replies in a high-pitched voice. If I could get to the top of the northern cliff to see the village from an elevated position, I could have the calculations done by mid to late afternoon tomorrow. Kurenai smiles. I will help with that. Naruto nods as he strokes Karen's hair. I know I am asking a lot and you are not a babysitter, but could you look after Karen for me tomorrow? I would rather do it myself, but you understand. Yugao nods. She seems like a nice girl. Haha, can't be worse than you were at least. Naruto smirks. Well, I think we should all get some sleep. Naruto picks Karen up and takes her to one of the empty rooms upstairs to sleep before going to his own. Before dropping off to sleep, Naruto ponders why his parents' house has so many rooms when they were the only ones living here. Little does he know his parents are looking down at him and smirking. Naruto was only their first child planned. They just never got the opportunity to have more. Next morning, where am I? Karen opens her eyes slowly and the events of the previous day hit her. Being alone in a room, she begins to panic. The door opens and Yugao walks in with a smile. Yugao. Good morning, Karen. Sleep well. Karen nods. Better than I can remember. Where's Naruto? Sitting on the end of the bed, Yugao grins. Don't worry. Naruto doesn't sleep much. He's been summoned to the Toad Summon realm. He will be back later after he speaks to them about some things. In the meantime, he asked me to keep you company. Karen smiles, but soon blushes as her stomach growls. Yugao giggles. Come on, breakfast is ready. After a surprisingly large breakfast, Karen and Yugao take a walk to explore the village. Yugao about Naruto. Yugao looks at Karen. He seems distant. His reactions don't seem to match what I see in his aura. He feels warm but comes across cold eyes. I'm not sure what you mean about his aura, but he's been like that for a few years. Actually, until recently you would have been shocked to see a smile on his face. But why? Yugao frowns. I'm not sure if I should be the one to tell you. But let me ask. What's the worst thing Orochimaru did around you? Karen's eyes glass in a flashback of a memory. I saw a few of his more painful experiments, but nothing that would kill a person or disfigure them even if I knew he did that. Yugao nods. Well, let me just say that, as much as the village hates Orochimaru for what he did, and that they themselves have done worse to Naruto, and without guilt or remorse. As he grew, he only had a few people he could trust, and fewer he would call friends. He told us of a really bad memory which causes him pain to this day, and it makes me sick even after having served in Anbu, and yet I suspect he has had even worse. Karen's eyes widened. Why would they do that to a child? Even Orochimaru gave me a choice of how much I saw. That's something you will have to ask him. It's not my secret to tell. Karen nods. Karen looks around at the ruins. This place seems like it was once beautiful. Yugao nods. And if Naruto has his way, it will be again. But Naruto on Mount Myaboku, so their fear finally got to them and it bit them in the ass. Haha, well, since there is nothing he could have done, I will spare Jiraiya the beating. But tell me, why did you need to speak to us? Before I tell you, I need your word none of this gets back to Jiraiya. He knows some of it, but not all. A small female toad named Shima croaks. You have it, lad. Must be important to keep a secret if you ask that. Naruto nods. What do you know about Shinju? An old male toad named Fukasaku answers. The god tree. A priestess ate its fruit, giving birth to chakra which she passed on to her sons. She went mad and fused with the Shinju to create the Juubi, which her eldest sealed away and later separated into the 9 Biju. Yes, that's the short version. The Shinju was not lost, however. Just dormant. His mind is buried in Kyuubi. With each Biju sealed or released, small amounts of their chakra were absorbed by the Kyuubi, making it stronger. Eventually he would have changed back into the Shinju on his own. With him being sealed within Mito, then my mother, then me, that sped up the process, as each time he absorbed more chakra from the environment. When Orochimaru hit me with the 5-element seal at the Chunin exams, Shinju's consciousness awoke and took hold over Kyuubi. I am now the Jinchuriki of the Shinju. Over the next 5 years I am to train my body and mind as much as possible, and once the seal is on the verge of breaking, he is going to give me what is left of his power and knowledge. I am to be a new Shinju. Why, you sure this ain't just a trick, kid? Shinju could have broken the seal at any time. He doesn't because he has no physical body. He doesn't need one, but he does. He will die regardless, and it could take centuries to reform. In that time the world will fall into unparalleled chaos without a guiding force. This was his best option. He thinks with being more able to understand humans I might stand a chance where he failed. Of course, in form I will still be human. Just immortal and powerful beyond all reason. Shima nods. A higher duty indeed. I took it then this visit was to inform us of these events and to ask advice on summons. Naruto nods. While I would prefer to remain a summoner of the toads, it may not be possible in the end. After all, I would need to be impartial to all clans. The Uzumaki could be an exception of course, as they are family, but not without reason. Fukasaku smiles. It's rare for a summoner to be allowed to summon multiple clans, but not unheard of. We will hold a clan meeting in a year and let you know what happens then. Naruto tilts his head curiously. Why so long? It's not just our clan we would be talking to kids. All summoning clans would attend. Such a thing hasn't happened since the Sage of Six Paths. That meeting is the reason a person with a Rinnegan can summon so many different creatures. Shima growls. Of course, one of his descendants enslaved a number of summons before we could sever the contracts, which is why they also have the Rinnegan and are connected to the outer path. Naruto nods. I also have a request. If you could ask the toads to keep an eye out for any Uzumaki and send them to Uzushio, or if they are in any trouble notify me. Heck, kids are smarter than Jiraiya. He once told you I'm sure toads are the best for spy work, but he meant as tools and partners. He had no idea. I'll put the word around. Thanks Bunta. I appreciate it. Shima smiles. Speaking of which, Kichi was about to go find you to tell you some good news. Seems that girl Taiya survived her fight. Tsunade is treating her right now. She suffered some trauma, as it seems Orochimaru severed the cursed seal which should have killed her after she lost. She was lucky. Naruto smiles. Karen will be happy to hear that. Thank you. I will probably be contacting Lady Tsunade tomorrow for a number of things. Fukasaku nods. I'll let Kichi know to expect your call. Naruto smiles and poofs back to Yuzu. Shima grins. You know, he might seem cold, but it just makes the occasional smile all the more uplifting, I think. The others nod. Back in Yuzu, poof. Ah, welcome back kid. Weather nice on the Toad's Mountain as always, Tazuna. But good. Ping is almost finished with his calculations. Kurenai seems to have taken a liking to him. Naruto smiles. Where is Karen? Naruto. Suddenly a red blur assaults Naruto from behind, knocking him to the ground, and is followed by lots of laughs and giggling. Hahaha, hello to you too Karen. I have some good news. Karen raises an eyebrow. Taiya is alive. She is, how is she? Naruto frowns. Not great. Seems after she failed to escort Sasuke to Orochimaru he severed the curse mark. She was lucky to survive that. She's in a coma for now, but Tsunade is helping her. I hope to find her well enough to travel soon so she can come here. Karen grins. At least she's alive. If anybody can help her, Tsunade can. Mouse giggles. Well, this is an interesting picture. Naruto and Karen blush and separate. Well anyway. Naruto, now you are back, your mind if we get to your training now? I want to assess you. Karen pouts. Don't worry Karen, there will be plenty of time to talk later. Okay. Dragon prepared an arena nearby to test you. Karen is free to watch if she wishes. Karen grins as they head to a large flat stone arena. Okay, so give me a rundown of your skills so far. Naruto nods. I have mastered the basics and the giant. I can create upwards of 1000 shadow clones, though only up to half that can use the memory transfer safely. Substitution and solid transformation. A few Futon and Raiten. I have also been working on my Suiton, though I am not yet proficient. Wood style is coming along well enough, and I recently discovered I can use ice, though once more it's only minor at this point. Taijutsu is below average for my generation, but Kenjutsu is coming along. My aim is average for a low. Sealing and Genjutsu are non-existent. Tree walking and water walking are mastered. I can currently safely use 2 tails of Shinju's chakra on top of my own cage level reserves. Karen's eyes are wide. Mouse is taping the base of her mask. That would make you a very all-round ninja suitable for nearly every field. Stealth and survival skills. I can't hide my chakra signature well because it's so big and my control isn't great. But besides that, stealth is exceptional, as the Hokage Monument and Anbu headquarters can attest. Mouse chuckles and Karen pouts, not getting it. Survival skills are well above average for a Mouse rubs her head sheepishly. Oh yeah, I forgot about that. My bad. Anyway, I think we will test you the same way we test new Anbu. Dragon and Tiger will both be sparring with you in set scenarios. This will test your ability to find your way out of a bad situation. Afterwards I will also be playing shogi with you to test your tactics. Naruto nods as Dragon steps forward. The objective for this scenario is simple enough. You need to make me bleed. Restrictions include no weapons or use of Shinju's chakra. Taijutsu, body enhancement, and only. Dragon creates 4 wood clones and signals to begin as they all sink into the ground. Naruto looks around trying to feel and sense an attack coming. He senses something behind him and stomps a hand emerging out of the ground breaking it, but it's one of the wood clones and it sinks back into the ground. Waiting for you to come to me is too time consuming and foolish. I need to force you out. Mouse smirks behind her mask. But what if you have no Doten? Sorry in advance for ruining all your hard work, dragon, but it seems I must break it. Naruto forces rations of chakra through his body to enhance himself before releasing a blast of futon below him to blast himself high into the air. At the apex of his jump, Naruto creates 9 shadow clones who all go through hand signs. Raiden. Multi-thunder crash. A large bolt of lightning falls from each skybound Naruto, shattering the ground of the arena, destroying the wood clones and forcing Dragon to the surface where he is trapped as Naruto hurtles towards him with a wind blade on his arm. As Naruto hits the ground behind Dragon, a small cut bleeds on his arm. Mouse claps. Impressive. Using Raiden to break the ground, knowing Doten is weak to it and trapping your enemy. Finishing them off with a wind blade. Most new Anbu take months to come up with strategies like that without instruction. Dragon digs himself out of the rubble and asks. I've never seen that before. Your own creation? Naruto shrugs. Yes and no. It's a variation on a couple ration from Dad's library. I adapted to use less chakra, but with more widespread devastation in return for being less lethal. Dragon nods. I'm up next. Your test this time is to avoid being hit with my jutsu. The limit is 3 minutes and you are allowed to move away from the arena to do so. Be warned, only 10 have ever passed this test and only 1 passed 60 seconds the first time. Based on what I saw though, you might be the second. Naruto nods and readies himself. Mao signals them to begin. Tiger opens with a fireball bigger than he's ever seen. Naruto is just barely able to dodge it, but it's followed by a wind bullet. Naruto creates a clone who tosses him out of the way. Thinking quickly, Naruto fires off his own wind bullets at Tiger, who smirks behind his mask. He's quick. Only Itachi thought to use jutsu to distract me the first time. The others got caught up dodging. He's already at 45 seconds too. Tiger forms a static shield around him, blocking the wind bullets and expels it into a wave of chakra he intends to use to paralyze Naruto. Naruto thinks quickly and raises a wooden wall to block it. Tiger unleashes many wind blades to cut through the wall before following up with a great breakthrough, knocking Naruto on his ass. Time. Naruto groans. What did I do? Tiger chuckles. 2.5 minutes. That's a full 60 seconds longer than Itachi managed his first time. Well done using the wood-style wood locking wall. That bought you a good 30 seconds. Wood dome might have put you past the 3-minute mark though, if you were wondering. Good to know. Ouch. Orochimaru's great breakthrough knocked me through 5 trees in the forest of death and it didn't hurt like that. Tiger nods. Great breakthroughs like fireballs are versatile. Depending on how you control and direct the chakra, the jutsu's power can change, as can the range and force. Most likely Orochimaru's had a lot of power over a long and wide area. Mine was more condensed and meant for more impact. Naruto nods in understanding, filing the information away for later. Mouse claps him on the back. If I had to rate you, I would put you in high Jounin to low Anbu with skills and mid Anbu with tactics. Impressive for a teenager. Come on. I found a shogi board in the house and I wanna play. Naruto nods. 1 hour later. Damn kid, you sure you aren't a Nara? Naruto shakes his head. I played Shikamaru a few times. He said I was one of the only people who gave him a challenge besides his dad. He thinks it's less strategy on my part and more luck though. I can play, but I find the more I think the less I win. Mouse captures Naruto's king, ending the game even though it was close. Tiger chuckles. Looks like your luck for games of chance are even better than your mother's. If it had even an ounce of luck involved, she won more often than not and people stopped inviting her to poker nights after cleaning out 2 clan heads in one night. Naruto nods. Jiraiya said I had the devil's luck when we visited a couple casinos in Tenzaku town trying to find Tsunade. On a hunch I used a coin I found in a slot machine and won the jackpot. He told me to try again on another machine and 3 machines later we were running out of the place because they thought we were cheating. I try to avoid such things though because I don't want to tempt Lady Luck. Dragon nods. Probably wise. By the way, I meant to ask. Yours. I've never seen that style before. What is it? Kuzuryu. My mother's style though, I am only training in the basics at the moment. A personal challenge to myself. I won't use my mother's sword until I master the advanced katas and I won't try those until I master the basics and can use them without thinking. Tiger chuckles. A worthy challenge. Anyway, I think we have a decent handle on your skills so far. Go have some fun or talk with Karen a bit. Naruto nods and walks away with Karen by his side. As they walk through the ruins, Karen keeps glancing at Naruto. Yugao told me some small things about you while you were away. I see. What would you like to know? Why did the villagers treat you like that? Naruto stops and looks away a moment before losing a sigh. I was hoping to start small and work up to that, but when do Uzumaki ever do easy? Do you know what a Jinchuriki is? Naruto spends the next 2 hours talking to Karen about Shinju and the ups and downs of his life in Konoha, leaving out only the worst of his experiences. At the end of it all, Karen stands in silence for a long time, worrying Naruto. I'd understand if you don't feel so great about being around me after hearing that. Karen's eyes widen and she grabs Naruto's arm. No, it's just that explains so much. Letting him go, she explains. After all that, it makes perfect sense. You distance your emotions from others and are afraid to show them. Karen smiles. Still, you might act cold, but I know you are kind. Naruto smiles. What about you? Karen frowns. I was born in a small village in grass country. My father died not long before I was born and my mother a few years later. Once my healing abilities manifested, the village used me as little more than a walking cure-all. When I was 6, there was a fire. The village burned to the ground. I survived as I was in a stream just outside the village. That's where Orochimaru found me. He offered me a home and training. He taught me science, genetics, and other things. He trained me to use my abilities well. I did things I am not proud of, but it wasn't until my mind's eye awakened that I started to notice the lies. I was 12 when I found out he was responsible for my village burning and that he wanted me all along. Shivering in disgust. I didn't care then. I was grateful. A year later, I heard some of the ninjas talking about the Uzumaki clan and I asked Orochimaru. He said they were destroyed. I didn't feel a lie, but maybe that's because the context of the question allowed him to keep the whole truth from me. Karen shrugs. That's what I get for not thinking my questions through with him. As grateful as I was, if I didn't fear him, I would have left sooner. When he offered to send me to Yuzu to see what I could find of my clan's history, I knew he was hoping I would find something for him, but I still jumped at the chance to learn. You know the rest. Naruto comforts her with a hug. Don't worry. I intend to kill Orochimaru sooner or later, so you won't have to worry about him coming after you. Karen places her head on Naruto's shoulder and closes her eyes, feeling safe. That night everybody was relaxed. The week since leaving Konoha had gone well. Ping smiled. This village is a marvel. The architecture was exceptional. Even with all the damage, it will only take a couple years to repair most of it with some extra help and materials. Such as, well, timber from Fire Country for a start. We can either pay for stone from Stone Country, or if we can get some talented Doton users, we could make do with mostly what's here nearby. I would say that's what was done originally actually. Then there would need to be about 100 workers for manual labor. Guards to protect us as we work. A team of hunters and cooks to keep the workforce going, and some initial housing to shelter them. All in all, I would say about 50 million ryo minimum over a time of 3 years. Double that at worst. Maybe more if you hire help from the ninja villages. Dragon chuckles. Naruto remembers that 4-pillar house. Naruto nods. It has a more powerful version called serial pillar houses. That would do your initial housing. Kurenai grins. And don't forget the clans offered to come help out. Hana grins. Neither Konoha nor Suna is known for Doton users, but I know there are a few in Konoha. The Inyazuka Taijutsu style is more potent than Doton users after all, so we have a few. Mouse nods. You could ask Suna for a few wind users to shape a stone once the Doton users molded. Tazuna puts in his 2 ryo. We have a few good artisans in Wave who could help with design and direct the work. Some fishermen could probably help with food if you find some hunters. Tiger nods. Naras are good with traps and strategy. Finding food will be nice, easy, laid-back work for them. They would probably enjoy it, and who better to cook than an Akimichi? Naruto nods. I was thinking of making Tazuna project director and Ping as assistant. Shikamaru and Tamari could handle finances from my account while I am not around and communicate through regular Toad messengers. I'm not worried about money since I have more than enough, and I expect we will make it back tenfold once the village is up and running for a couple years. Mouse shakes her head. Who knew this would be so easy? Naruto chuckles. With the right tools and a few keen minds, anything is possible. I remember the old man told me that when I was little. Dragon chuckles. Wish he was still around. He'd have gotten a kick out of the council's screw-up. Hated them even more than paperwork. Oh, by the way, Kurenai, I found the plans for resistant seals in my dad's library. Should help with your speed and stamina. I don't have the skill to apply them yet, but maybe Mouse does. Mouse shrugs. Hard to say for sure. I'd have to see them first, but yeah, I don't think it will be a problem. Kurenai nods. Thanks. Now I need to write out the orders and requests to send out in the morning. With any luck, people should start arriving within the week. Tazuna chuckles. I'll start heading back to Wave in the morning and see who I can dig up to help. Dragon nods. I will escort you. I won't be needed for training until we start towards Kiri. Anko grins. Me too. There isn't much for me to help with at the moment either. Naruto nods and heads to the master bedroom to write. The next 2 weeks went by rather as expected for all involved. Kurenai and Ping spent more and more time together finding each other to be good company. For Ping he found her to be a calming presence and for Kurenai she admired his intellect and energy. Naruto and Karen grew as close as brother and sister, sharing more and more stories of their past both good and bad. Naruto's training advanced quickly to the point where only Yugao and the Anbu could match him and maybe Enko since she had yet to return and he had not sparred with her yet. Though they agreed that they still had things to teach him, none could argue he would best them all combined before 5 years was up. The day the first of the workers and supplies arrived along with some old friends. Tsunade, Shikamaru, Choji, Niji, Kakashi and Guy were all amazed by what they saw on both the island and Naruto himself. Tamari, Hinata, Ino, Anko and Tsume were all drooling as they watched a shirtless Naruto effortlessly moving boulders the size of a small house to clear a field for housing. Nothing could have prepared them all for what he did next though. Wood style. Serial pillar houses jutsu. Slamming his hands into the ground 50 small houses in 2 rows sprouted and shaped along the field he just cleared. Tsunade shakes her head. You've come a long way it seems. Naruto looks at her dusting his hands. My control is getting better but I still can't do it without help. I haven't worked on my Doten affinity yet and my Suiton is still weak. Have to work on that when I hit Kiri. It's good to see you Lady Tsunade. Tsunade gives him a bone-crushing hug. Hey you too Brad. So where is this Karen you told me about? I have somebody here who would like to see her. Naruto notes the orderly redeed behind Tsunade trying not to meet his eye. Nodding his head, he leads the way back to the Namika's house. I figured it best if she took it easy and avoided using chakra until somebody could take a look at her, so besides light exercise and regular walks, she's been taking it easy. She's been enjoying learning about my mother though. Seems she finds her to be an inspiration. Tsunade chuckles. Hey Karen, we have guests. The Redeed peeks out of the kitchen. Oh, good thing I cooked extra for lunch then. Tai's eyes widened. Karen. Tai rushes Karen into a hug. It's good you are alright Ta-ta. I was worried. Tai laughs. The shadow fucker got me good, but nothing that wouldn't heal with time. It was the curse mark that really fucked me over, but all good now thanks the juggernauts. Tsunade's brow gets several tick marks as she tries to ignore that embarrassing nickname, while Naruto is trying hard to keep his cold demeanor and not laugh his ass off. Karen, I didn't know you could cook. Karen grins. I couldn't. Naruto taught me. Said it's something everybody should know just in case, but I like to cook. Everybody looks at Naruto with surprise. What? Tsunade shakes her head with a smirk. Nothing Brad. Anyway, Karen, let's sit you down so I can take a look at you. Karen nods and leads them into the living room where she sits in front of Tsunade. Tsunade performs a diagnostic to scan Karen from head to toe, frowning more and more as she goes, making Karen nervous. No good. No. Nothing I can't reverse anyway. Naruto was right about what's wrong, but it seems Orochimaru didn't want it to heal on its own and was regularly introducing a chemical to prevent it in your diet. It's already almost gone from your system. The problem is that because of this the chakra network has atrophied and become calloused. That will make raising your reserves to normal difficult for a while. I can't fully heal you. Only time and training can do that, but I can speed it up a bit. The downside is it's painful. Karen nods resolute in her decision. Do it. Tsunade turns to Naruto. Think you can make some clones to help hold her down on the table? Naruto nods and creates 10 reinforced clones, knowing some of them will pop before this is done. As Karen lies down on the table the clones take hold and Naruto holds her hand. Tsunade notices this and smiles. Activating her chakra scalpels Tsunade begins and Karen screams. The surgery takes hours and by the end Tsunade is sweating and her eyes drooping. Thankfully she finishes before passing out. Done. She should be good in about a week to begin flight training. In 4 weeks, she should be good to take it up a notch. Naruto nods and thanks Tsunade. I'll get you some tea and something to eat. As Naruto walks away Tsunade sits on the couch and relaxes. I tried to be family to him. A mother where I could. I'm glad he found you Karen. He seems happier than I have ever seen. But if you ever hurt him, I will make Orochimaru seem like a saint. Karen tiredly nods. You don't need to worry. Naruto arrives with a cup of green tea and a plate of fish for Tsunade. She takes it gratefully and Naruto takes Karen to the other couch and lays her head in his lap while he plays with her hair. Tsunade smiles at the sight. You know I don't know why I'm surprised you can cook. He shrugs. People seem to get the image of the old me in their minds and have trouble letting go. I feel like a mother whose son is doing well and has left her behind. Sad yet proud and happy. Naruto smiles. For what it's worth you are like a mother to me. Thank you for coming Granny. So what's the plan with this place? Tazuna and Ping are in charge of the reconstruction and coordination of resources. Tamari and Shikamaru will be in charge of my accounts and funding until the project can be self-sustaining. Over the next 2 years I will be hiring ninjas from both Suna and Konoha for various things until living space and basic needs can be provided. At that time some of the clan's ninja will be free to move in and make life here sustainable. Ping estimated construction to be completed within 3 to 6 years. Once everything is handled here in the next week, I will move towards Kiri to begin my training in earnest. Tsunade nods. Why Kiri? Naruto looks at her before smiling. A number of reasons. Conflict is needed for fast growth. The rebels are fighting for a good cause, and helping them will open them up for good relations further down the line. The current Mizukage is a Jinchuriki, and I suspect something is wrong with him. Water Country is the best place to train my Suiton. It's also the most likely place to find any free Uzumaki still living. Tsunade frowns. All good points. But it doesn't mean I won't worry. And I won't tell you not to. This is war, and anything can happen. More so when this one has been going more than half my lifetime, so all they have done is learn new ways to kill faster. Looking her in the eye with determination. But I won't be alone, and I can and will survive. I can't afford not to after all. Naruto looks back at Karen who is sleeping with a sweet smile on her face. Naruto frowns. Who did you leave to run the village while you are here? Tsunade waves off the concern. Shizune is handling it and Sakura is helping along with Shikaku. I'm good for a couple days yet. I intend to spend a couple days relaxing and maybe helping out a bit here before going back. Have you chosen a successor yet? Tsunade shakes her head. I was hoping it would be you, but the council fucked that up. Now I'm torn between Kakashi and Sakura. Only problem is one is too lazy and the other lacks experience. Naruto smiles. Why not have Kakashi train her in tactics, Shizune train her in administration, and you keep her as your apprentice. That way in a few years she might be ready. Tsunade nods. I was considering something along those lines. I'm just impatient to toss that damn hat he. Have Root tried anything? Tsunade shakes her head. We had Inoichi and Ibiki interrogate him, and while it took a lot, he told us all their bases, but after his execution they all cleared out. We have no idea where they went. Frankly that worries me, but for now it's not a problem. I would watch my back if I was you though. Naruto nods. Without the head the drones will have only one goal. Revenge. On a brighter note Jiraiya got a message from Itachi. He is considering whether or not he will come back to the village. Kisame will come with him if he does. A great boon for the Leaf then. Lose a Jinchuriki and gain the next best thing. Well if you can live with his personality that is. He seems obsessed with cutting off people's legs for some reason. Must be a shark thing. Tsunade laughs. I'll have to warn the village to hide all the fish sticks. Naruto snorts. Most of the supplies and workforce from Konoha should arrive by day's end or early tomorrow, and I got word from Suna that they have a few Futen and Doten users who wish to help as thanks from their new Kazukiage. Naruto raises an eyebrow. Who? Tsunade smirks. Gaara. Seems you inspired him to be better. Naruto smiles. Happy for him. He deserves it. Tsunade smirks. You noticed the looks when we arrived. If you mean most of the girls drooling like I am the tastiest meat ya. You know in Konoha you'd be put in the craw. Are you going to do something like that here? Naruto shakes his head. No, that's an easy path to breeding for war, power-mongering, and corruption. No, I will choose one woman. If she wishes to bring others to our bed and they get pregnant then I will take responsibility, but there will be no Krar harems here and arranged marriages will be by choice of all parties involved. Good to know you are not making Konoha's mistakes. Naruto smiles. You know most of the problems in Konoha can be traced back to two figures. Danzo and Tobirama. Hashirama might have been a fool, but he was a wise fool with an admirable dream. Sadly, Tobirama was too military-minded and focused too much of his time fooling around with new things and gave too much power to people who didn't share the right ideals. Tsunade nods. Uncle Toby never did know when to let things go. I just mean with them gone there is nothing stopping you from working over the system and cleaning Konoha up. What nobody ever pays attention to is Konoha is a military dictatorship. The only person who has power over the Hokage is the daimyo, and there is always the threat that the Hokage might assassinate him for a more amiable successor. Naruto shrugs. Not that I am suggesting that. The current Fire Lord is reasonable enough. My point is the council was appointed as advisors. Those two old fossils are redundant and a threat to what you want. Tsunade ponders this. Now you mention it. I don't remember there being a civilian council when I was a child. Only clan council. Naruto nods. And since the civilian council came into power the clan council has lost sight of their responsibility. At most 1 or 2 seats should belong to the civilians to advise on their affairs. Originally the clan council was to take care of that, but it would be difficult to change things exactly back to that. The only solution would be to either absolve the council or to take back the power and reduce them to advisors only. Tsunade sips her tea. You know, with half the clan heads coming here anyway, I might as well just hold off on refilling those seats as they leave, then dissolve the council and reform it completely with people I can trust. Naruto smirks. Now you are thinking like a Hokage. Tsunade grins ruefully and shakes her head. I still think you would make a better one. They would never accept me. Once I was in, it wouldn't matter, but getting in is the problem. You need the daimyo's vote. The Hokages are the majority of the council. 2 of the 3 at least. The Fire Lord is an okay guy, but is subject to his people, so without the council's vote it would never happen. Besides, this happened better than I could have planned. Tsunade raises an eyebrow. You intended to leave? Naruto nods. Within a couple years I intended to retire once I had some more training and research. You know, you and I together could have overturned my banishment. All it would take is a pardon from the Hokage and me reapplying for citizenship. The council would have no say in the end unless the clan council agreed with them, which we both know they don't. Like I said, the daimyo has power, but within the village any decision the daimyo doesn't take, the Hokage has the power. Tsunade sheds a tear. Why did I never think of that? I am Hokage. They're doing fine. I looked up the history and the laws on the subject thoroughly. Most Hokages are either born leaders from a military mindset or trained for it, as Hiruzen was. You come from a medical background and a soldier's point of view. You weren't trained for it. Mistakes will be made, but it can all be fixed as long as you remember you are in charge. Tsunade smiles. I can see now you will lead this village well. Anyway, we spent all day talking and I'm tired. Grab a spare room, Tsunade. I'll see you tomorrow. 3 days later, Tsunade went back to Konoha with Kakashi, happier than when he had seen her sober. Construction was going slowly, but well, and Naruto's training had picked up again. It even drew a crowd as people wanted to watch. After all, how often do you get to watch high-level ninja train somebody? Although the ladies watched for an entirely different reason. The rest, however, was driving one girl nuts. Ugh, why do I suddenly have the urge to run around the village 100 times? Naruto chuckles. Uzumaki have high stamina and energy with a metabolism to match. Your coils expand and healing is giving you a more extensive feel for that, most likely. You'll get used to it. Only 4 more days till you can do something to burn all that energy. Karen groans and Naruto laughs. Karen looks pointedly at him. Ahem, it's nothing, Karen, just that you remind me of myself a few years ago. I never guessed it was a family trait. Karen smiles. Naruto sweat drops. Just be careful not to start wearing green tights and screaming about youth. Huh? Naruto chuckles. Just a couple people I know. Similar training methods, but terrifying people. If you don't stop them quickly, they make an unbreakable and all too real that traumatizes everybody around them. Nobody knows how either. Kurenai giggles as she walks over. I studied it so long I had to have my mind wiped. I may claim to be the best mistress, but that has me beat easily. Itachi too, and all the Kurama clan. Karen frowns. I heard of the Kurama clan while working for Orochimaru. Is this genjutsu really that bad? Naruto shakes his head. If they weren't in it then it would be beautiful, but they make it nasty. They don't even realize they do it. Karen gags. Okay, I swear green will stay away from my clothing. Pouting and putting her finger on her chin. Though I might have to use the youth screaming to mess with people sometimes. Naruto pales and Karen and Kurenai giggle. Oh, right, I should put you into the seal array for the house, Karen. That way you will be able to access most portions of the house while I am gone. I'm also going to sort the library into general Uzumaki knowledge and family techniques so that any Uzumaki I find can learn safely without going into anything I would rather stay secret for now. After all, not everything in there is Uzumaki or even safe. Karen grins. So, you're setting up your home as a clan house. Naruto nods. For now, though depending on how many I find I will have to expand. Kurenai's smile falls a little. Speaking of leaving. I think I have taught you all I can until your control gets a lot better. I was thinking I might stay here. Naruto smiles. He's lucky to have you, Kurenai-sensei. Besides, you are right and I need somebody here to help anybody I send back to settle in. I can't think of anybody better than you. Kurenai blushes. I don't know who you mean. But I would be happy to help the Uzumaki. Your mother would be rather upset with her student if I didn't after all. Naruto grins before they all hear Tazuna screaming for him. Yo, Naruto. Better come take a look. I think we found something interesting. Walking to the remains of an old tower on the outskirts of the village, they sight a huge hole in the ground, which looks like the beginnings of a cave. We were examining the area around the tower because we couldn't find an entrance even though it seemed intact. One of the boys got a bit frustrated and kicked a rock. The ground gave way and he took a tumble. Is he alright? Slight bump on the head and a bruised back, but otherwise fine. Have him taken to the medics for a full examination, then tell him to take the next couple days off to be safe. Back and head injuries are no joke. Izuna nods. Naruto walks carefully to the edge of the hole. Why did you say this was interesting? It's not. Rather what is down there is. He said it looked like a cross between storage and a forge. Naruto walks down the wall of the hole and lights a torch he sees on the wall with some sparks. Exploring the large room, Naruto finds a trove of ingots of varying metals, molds for everything from weapons to horseshoes. It's what's near the forge itself that catches his attention. 7 weapon molds of very specific shapes and one that he knows well from his past. Well, hello old friend. Who knew they were Uzumaki made? Naruto makes 20 clones to seal up anything dangerous and exits the hole. You were right. This is a once-in-a-century find. Karen looks down the hole. What is it? Naruto grins. For starters, this isn't a tower, but a chimney for an advanced forge. What I found are the forge itself and the molds for everything made in it, including the 7 blades of the mist. Karen's eyes bug and Izuna frowns. You mean like that big blade that Zabuza guy used? Looked intimidating, sure, but was it that special? Karen answers. Each blade is at least partially sentient. They chose their wielders. Each blade also has their own special powers in a way. Zabuza's head cleaver was unbreakable because if it was broken, then feeding it blood would heal the blade. It's the only one I know about though. Naruto nods. Kisam's blade sharkskin is a living weapon that shaves rather than cuts. It also eats chakra. Nabari is the sewing needle and is perfect for shredding or tying up your opponent, but is notoriously difficult to wield. It only had 2 owners I know of. The Kiba fangs are dual short swords with similar powers to the second Hokage's blade, enhancing Raiden to an insane degree. Helmet Splitter is more of an axe with a mallet to enhance any blow made. Splash has a giant roll of exploding tags on the back that makes every blow a blast. Hiramakare can shape chakra into any solid shape depending on the will of the user. Karen smiles. You know a lot. Naruto nods. Kisame is part of Akatsuki and they are after my life, so I make it a point to learn what I can about them. I took a special interest in that because the information was in the same scroll I found Samehada's info in. Naruto turns to Izuna. This wasn't the entrance to the forge. If anybody finds other things like this, seal them off until I or somebody I can trust can take a look. I don't want to take any risks. Make sure your men are careful. Uzumaki were seal masters and there is telling how any seals might react to somebody messing with it. Most shouldn't be a problem after so long, but be careful all the same. Izuna nods. I'll pass the word around. Naruto taps his chin. This complicates things a bit. I will have to contact the clans and see if a team can be put together for exploration and archaeology. A Doten expert to reinforce any tunnels or caverns, a cartographer to map them out, and a sealing expert at standard journeyman level minimum in case of seals. Naruto sits down and writes out a message to Inoichi and summons Gamakichi to deliver it. Having that done, he returns to his training. Next day, Naruto was looking for Shikamaru and found him in a position he did not expect, with Temari in his arms in a secluded area of the island. Temari was asleep and Shikamaru was staring at the clouds. Naruto sniggers. Well, this is a surprise. I thought she was too troublesome for you. It's a drag, but at least she gets my love of staring at clouds, even if she tries to cut down how much I do it. Besides, mom's been trying to set up blind dates and she's less troublesome than that. Naruto grins. This works out well for me then. Shika looks at him. What troublesome things are you thinking now? I was thinking you two are among the smartest people I know who I can trust. I want you two handling my accounts for this project. Shikamaru nods. Sounds easy enough. Lots of time to think and look at the clouds. Can't speak for Temari, but it sounds fine to me. Temari mumbles. I'll keep him motivated and help out. Naruto smiles. Thanks, you too. Temari sits up. Tsunade told you Gaara is Kazuki-age. Naruto nods. Make sure you visit him when you get the chance. He's looking forward to it. Naruto smiles. I will. Suna is on my list of training locations after all. Even if it wasn't, I would still do it. Temari smiles. Thanks again for helping him. He's really changed. Naruto shrugs. Just because I'm a little cold doesn't mean I think a person can be strong on their own. Gaara just needed a reminder. A week later it was time to leave and Naruto was holding Karen. Look after home for me, Karen, and I'll be back before you know it. Karen smiles. I will. Kurenai has offered to teach me and train me to get me on track. Naruto nods. Couldn't ask for a kinder teacher. Looking past Karen. Teiya, look after yourself. Teiya smirks. Make sure to kill that fucking snake when you see him and let him know I said he was a worm. Naruto grins and waves to everybody as the group set out for Kiri. Anko grins as they set out. What are you smiling about? Haha, Kiri has some of the best poisons. Kusa has more deadly animals, but Kiri designs and mixes their own poisons. Naruto nods. I remember the demon brothers scratched my hand when they attacked. It was poisoned, but Shinju hadn't yet finished tuning up my immune system. I'm mostly immune to poisons now thankfully. It was a pain to do though. I was sick for weeks. Between the Chunin exams and the Sasuke retrieval mission I was recovering. Anko cackles. So that's where you were. The whole village was convinced you were planning one of your pranks and that it was going to a big one. I was kinda disappointed when you didn't. Naruto chuckles. Maybe I'll start a tradition in Yuzu where kids try their best once a year in a pranking contest. Hana giggles. That sounds like fun. Anyway, how are we getting to Kiri? Heading to the southern peninsula then island hopping. Best way to get in unnoticed. Unless the triplets can't water walk then I will hire a boat and wave. Hana waves him off. It's fine. They can water walk better than most and it isn't that far between the islands. Later that day they reached a village on the first island. It reminded him of how Wave used to be. This place feels sad. And angry. It reminds me of Wave under Geto, but feels like Konoha. Yugao's eyes are drawn to a girl about Naruto's age, arguing with a merchant about the price of a fish she is selling, and draws Naruto's attention to it. But last week this kind of fish fetched double that. Sorry kid. Times are hard and I'm the only one who will buy from you. That's cost me business and I can't afford more. Naruto, recognizing the look in the girl's eyes, walks up to the fishmonger. You said times are hard. Why? And why do you say nobody will buy from this girl? This is or rather was a popular trading port, but recently monsters have been sinking our ships. As for the other matter, well, it's superstition mostly. An old story says when people around here disappear, they are taken by monsters, and if they return then they have turned into one. Many have gone missing over the years, but Isaribi here is the first to return. Naruto shakes his head. So, they demonize her simply because she came back when others didn't. You know I know how that feels, and trust me it hurts everybody involved. The more you treat somebody like a demon the more they are tempted to become one to avoid the pain. Even Biju were once peaceful. Naruto looks at Isaribi and notices the bandages. Are you injured Isaribi? And no. At least nothing that can be helped with. Naruto nods knowing she is hiding something. I want you to remember something. The difference between a human and a monster or demon is not what they look like or their abilities. It is what they choose to do. We will be in the area for a day or so if you wish to talk or ask for help with anything. Naruto walks away with the team ignoring the look on Isaribi's face. A look of hope and sadness all at once. You want my advice kid? Take his offer. Even if they can't help you, they obviously don't wish to hurt you either. You have everything to gain and nothing to lose. He confuses me. Seems so cold, but his words were warm. Isaribi's eyes widened. He knows pain. As they walk into the woods Naruto notices Anko looks distracted and uneasy. Something wrong? Anko starts. Why yeah. Since we got here, I have had a bad feeling. Like I've been hurt before and it wasn't pleasant for me. Like that pain you get in that mark? Anko nods. Worse than usual. And flashes of things I don't remember. Mao stops and looks at Anko. Repressed memories. So, you are beginning to remember at last. Everybody looks at Mouse. My first mission in Anbu was taking out a rumored lab Orochimaru was using in this area. We never found the lab, but we found Anko knocked out and in bad shape. Almost dead. When she finally woke, she could remember nothing after leaving the leaf on what she was told was a training trip with Orochimaru. It was the first time we saw the curse mark. We could only figure what happened was so traumatic she repressed the memories. We hoped they would surface in time so we could find him, but we lost hope after many years of no signs of it happening. Then we stopped hearing the rumors out of this area and gave up. It would seem that is no longer the case. If I was to guess, the closer we get to the lab the more Anko will remember. Tiger nods. I have a question. In the morning we could move through several islands. You said we would stay a day or two though. Why? Isaribi. She is like me. Hana frowns. A Jinchuriki. Naruto shakes his head. No, but she hides something. Something that makes her different and that causes her pain. Pain of loneliness and isolation. I didn't lie when I said this place reminded me of Wave and Leaf. I only hope she is willing to confide in us before we must move on. That night Isaribi was conflicted. Amachi said he could cure her if she repaid him for the research, but he did this to her. If she went to these people, she might be accepted and maybe cured, but Amachi would cut her off. Should she risk that? Why does she feel like this boy knew her pain? She remembers his eyes. A cold blue like the ocean. Beautiful, but the things hidden beneath were both beautiful and frightening. She shivered. Now she felt like he knew worse than she did, but it still confused her. Maybe I can ask him. Next day, Naruto decided to take some time to relax on the beach. Shinju had told him too much training would hurt more than help even with him, so he decided now was the time. Fate seems to like him, as the beach he was napping on happened to be where Isaribi lived. Even dozing in the sun, he felt her coming. Her chakra felt different. Lots of water, but that's not what had him curious. It was the inhuman feeling that came with it. Hello, Isaribi. She jumps. How did you know it was me? Naruto shrugs. Live in a ninja village, and in constant fear you pick up some tricks. I can sense chakra, and yours is unique. So, you're a ninja. I'm not sure if that term fits me anymore. Is a ninja who has been banished still a ninja? Even if he is trying to start his own village. Smirking, she sits by him. Our actions make us what we are. Does that not extend to a ninja, as well as monsters and humans? Naruto chuckles. So that's how it feels. Isaribi looks him in the eyes to see amusement. What? Originally I came from Konoha. One of the few who was kind to me was the third Hokage. Though I knew it was always for the good of the village with him that was his duty, and he was kind to me. Sometimes he would say something, and later when he was going against his own advice, I would remind him, and he would chuckle. I never knew why until now. Isaribi smiles. Why do I get the feeling this story has more to it? That you hide more pain than I do? There is a reason I mentioned Biju yesterday. I know more about them than anybody alive. Naruto takes off his shirt causing her to blush. He then channels his chakra causing a seal to appear on his stomach and her eyes widen. Jinchuriki. Which one do you hold? Naruto smirks. Now that's a complicated question. If you ask most in Konoha they would say the 9 tails, but that's not entirely accurate anymore. Isaribi looks at him asking a silent question, and Naruto tells her about his life and the god within. By the end she is silent in contemplation. Truly he has lived pain far worse than mine. Maybe making up her mind Isaribi stands and unwinds her bandages to show the scales on her skin. Then walking to the water, she steps in and changes her form. She looks like a bizarre hybrid between fish and human. Looking at Naruto hoping he doesn't reject her, she sees sadness. You have it so much worse than I do. For me the only outward sign of what I am is these whiskers and the fangs. Easily hidden. But you wear your pain on your skin. Naruto smiled kindly. You don't need to worry about rejection from me, Isaribi. Tell me. How did this happen? A lab on a nearby island. A man is there named Amachi. He used to work for a leaf nin named Orochimaru researching bloodlines, and he kidnapped many villagers for his experiments. Most either died or became mindless monsters. But I adapted. I remain human in mind and can even force the change back mostly, but there is always some left. He promised he could fix me, but it would be costly. That explains the guilt in your eyes. You're the one attacking ships. How long has he had you doing this? Has he done anything that would strike you as looking for a cure? Shaking her head. Years. And no. I hold hope because it's all I have. We have a medic ninja in our team who could look at you. If this Amachi can help you then she should at least be able to tell what exactly this is. Naruto smirks and looks back to the tree line. Isn't that right Hana? Hana blushes and rubs her arm sheepishly as she walks out of the trees. Sorry Naruto. Didn't mean to pry. I was just walking by when you took off your shirt and you got distracted. It's fine, Hana. I kinda figured Kiba wasn't the only horned dog in your family. Hana giggles. If only you knew our mom. Now Isaribi, would you allow me to take a look at you? Isaribi shakes nervously. Why do I smell dogs? Naruto frowns at her fear. Dogs frighten you? I like dogs, but for some reason they don't like me. And one time the villagers set some loose on me. Naruto nods understanding. You can smell dogs because Hana here is of the Inuzuka clan. They have a close bond with their partners. Ninja hounds of special breeds. Speaking of which, where are the triplets? Hana pouts. They went back to the cabin laughing at my drooling. Isaribi giggles. Stepping out of the water the transformation recedes and she stands before Hana and nods. Hana uses a medical scanner to scan her to find out what's been done to her. It takes a while, but Hana frowns afterwards and Isaribi is worried. What is it? It's a bloodline, as far as I can see. One that lay dormant. Dormant. Hana shakes her head and answers. New bloodlines pop up all the time. Usually lying dormant in a family or villager of people close to each other for years or decades before manifesting. It's best to let this happen naturally, as forcing it can cause negative effects. It seems what has been done here is the bloodline has been forcibly activated and fused with her cells before she was ready for it. Based on what she said the older generation all mutated fully and lost their minds. This means that more than likely later in life you might have activated it naturally, but in them it was fully dormant. If you didn't then likely your children would. Good news is with time, training, and a little luck you might gain full control, but there is no way to know for sure and what has been done to you is permanent. There is no curing it because it was always there. How would I train it? Naruto smiles. You already have been Isaribi, though not in the best way. By using your abilities, you become more used to them and they settle in you. They come more easily. I am guessing the transformation was difficult and maybe painful at first. She nods. And not now. Shaking her head. Can you walk on water? I can, but I always preferred to swim. Naruto motions for her to follow him out onto the water. Once standing out a ways, Naruto shows her the bird hand sign. Hold this hand sign and close your eyes. Feel the water around you as you stand here. Isaribi decides to follow his lead and does as instructed. Try to move it around a little. It takes a few minutes, but Naruto notices a ripple below them and smiles. Good. Now try feeling inside yourself for a similar energy. It should feel like the water, but at the same time different. I feel it. What is it? Keep a watch on it. Now I want you to try transforming into your aquatic form. Frowning, Isaribi does so and gasps at what she notices. I thought so. What is it? It's your bloodline. I didn't know what I was sensing at first, but what Hana said about you got me thinking. Okay, now I want you to keep an eye on that energy and change the flow. Try to force it down. Slowly and carefully. As she does so, Naruto grins. Opening her eyes, she is confused. What? Naruto points down and she looks at a reflection in the water and gasps. It's gone. I'm normal. Isaribi jumps at Naruto and hugs him for everything she is worth. Tears in her eyes, she thanked him over and over. As she separates herself, she suddenly feels weak and Naruto has to help her back to land. As they reach the shore, Hana rushes to examine her. What happened? Naruto smirked. Backlash. I asked Kakashi about the Sharingan once and he said Mangekyo has a major backlash when it's first activated, often knocking the person out for a few hours. Her bloodline has been at least partially active for years, draining her reserves a little constantly, and she never deactivated it, so the backlash was a little worse. She'll have a headache when she wakes, but now she can control it. When I said to train it, I meant years. How did you do it? She's been doing it by instinct all along. When she transforms. She just couldn't fully control it because she didn't know how. I taught her how to feel her own power and observe how it reacts when she changes. After that, it was a case of taking that feeling further. Hana shakes her head. Only you, Naruto. Looking at Isaribi, Naruto smiles. Go back to the others and tell them what happened. I will wait till she wakes and see if she is willing to point us to this lab and Amachi. I suspect he has answers for Anko. Hana nods and walks away, not noticing the small smile on Isaribi's face. Isaribi woke as the sun started to set with a bad headache, just as he said. What happened? You suffered backlash from your bloodline deactivating the first time. It happens with some, though it will get better the more you use it. Next time you might suffer some pain and dizziness for a moment before it fades. Slowly Isaribi nods. So, it wasn't a dream? I can control it now. Yep. With practice you will do it without a hand sign and more easily. She smiles. I must be honest with you, Isaribi. I didn't do this entirely selflessly. I won't force you, of course, if you don't want to talk, but I need to know. Where is this lab Amachi is using? Shaking her head. I will tell you, but why do you need to know? A dear friend of mine has suffered a life much like mine because of her sensei. You know him. Orochimaru. He did something to her in a lab somewhere around here years ago and she doesn't remember much about it. But we need to find answers. Isaribi frowns a moment before her eyes widen. The lady with purple hair and fishnet shirt. Her name isn't Anko, is it? Naruto frowns and nods at her. You know Anko? I almost didn't recognize her. She was my only friend in that place. They told me she died. Ran away and drowned in the sea. She doesn't remember. Naruto shakes her head. Whatever happened to her was traumatic enough, she repressed the memories. She has had painful flashes since we got here and fragments, but it's a blur. Think you could help? If you are island hopping to Kiri, I would think you would go north then east, but if you go south instead you come to another island. That's the place. Can I see Anko, please? Sure, come on. I made a cabin nearby. 10 minutes later they arrived at a large house that looked grown rather than made, and Isaribi was confused. Seeing her, Naruto smirks. You're not the only one with a special talent. Isaribi made a face like oh and followed him inside. You have a visitor. Looking up from her dango, Anko raises an eyebrow. The girl from yesterday. Isaribi, right. Wachanid. You really don't remember me, do you, Anko? She smiles sadly and sheds a tear. Well, I suppose it doesn't matter, I only wanted to thank you. For what? Have we met? Nodding, she steps closer and hugs Anko, making her frown. You were my only friend in that lab years ago. They said you were dead and it broke my heart, but I always thought they were wrong. I'm glad that you lived. Even if you don't remember me. Anko suddenly has a flashing memory much clearer than before and her eyes widen. Ribi Enko suddenly falls to the floor in pain, gripping her head and screaming. Mouse moves to her side and examines her. Naruto helped me hold her down and make a bit for her to bite so she doesn't bite her tongue. Naruto does as ordered. 20 minutes later Anko spits out a bit and calms down. Fuck. Sorry. What happened to Anko? You said it was a repressed memory, but it wasn't. It was sealed. That bastard manipulated me again. Sealed my memory and altered it. He didn't abandon me because I lack spine, as he said he did because he wanted to see how I would turn out on my own without him around to influence me. I was a free-rein lab rat for him. Fucking bastard. Seeing Isaribi there Anko jumps up and hugs her tightly with a big grin on her face. Ribi. I'm sorry you were alone here so long. Isaribi smiles and returns the hug. It's okay Anko. It all worked out in the end. Isaribi smirks. Remember Amachi. Would you like to get back at him, Anko? He's here. She nods. I'm supposed to attack another ship tomorrow morning and deliver the cargo to him. He will be expecting me. No reason you and Naruto here can't sneak in. Oh, I owe him some payback. Smirking at each other they spent hours plotting and planning before finally resting the night. Thanks for watching my video, leave a like if you enjoyed my video and also do consider subscribing to my channel for more awesome content. See you next time, till then sayonara.